It's me for this second part of the lesson 5 on major reversal indicators or patterns. This is getting started in technical analysis course. This is one of the lessons. I hope you enjoyed the previous two lessons, so the part 1a, part 1b, because again, please go through those two lessons as I explained some of the concepts explained in the previous lessons are mandatory or important to understand those reversal pattern. I can do a recap quickly, but please watch the previous lessons because some of the concepts have been explained much better than now I'm gonna do right now. So the focus will be mainly on the double top and bottom and spike or saucer pattern. Let's get into it. So a recap on the previous lessons was that we talked about major trends, and then we said that all those major reversal patterns, all those major reversal patterns, they should have those 6 points. Actually, there are a couple of points in common and some considerations that are important to find, to recognize, to locate even a reversal pattern inside the trend. So with those information, we should be able, with all those informations between this lesson, in the lesson number 5, we should be able to recognize if it is a reversal pattern or no, even based on the location in time. So perhaps if it is at the end or at the top of an uptrend, significant uptrend, or at the bottom a downtrend, most likely it can be a reversal pattern. This is the first one, so there has to be a trend before a reversal pattern. Then those points I've explained again in a better way in the previous lesson, so please do and have a look at the previous lessons. But if you want, for now, just take a screenshot and just start reading those points. But those points are fundamental, important, that will help us to locate a reversal patterns. Let's move straight forward in the double top or bottom. This is the double top or bottom. This is the top example, and as we can see, first of all, this is there is a trend line, so there has to be a trend. Then what we have some weakness signals. The first one is that the point C, the new peak, is lower than the point A, so was not able to overtake the point A. This is a signal for us that something is happening. And then another signal is that the trend line has been broken through this retracement CD, and then if all those conditions are happening together, what we can see, and we say we are able to recognize that it is a double, it can be a double top reversal pattern. We just need to confirm it, just need to draw this dotted red line parallel to the BSC peaks. This is parallel dotted red line to the line passing through ASC. Generally is an horizontal line. There can be some inclination, but it's just an horizontal line passing through B. This horizontal line, if it's gonna be broken and it's gonna be penetrated at least from 1 to 3%, we can consider this pattern as reversal pattern. So there are good opportunities, good chances, good probabilities that the pattern is gonna, this is a reversal pattern, that the trend is gonna reverse. The trend will reverse if all those conditions are happening together. So that the C is lower than A, so the new peak not able to overtake A, and then the trend line has been broken, this dotted line has been broken, and then has been penetrated 3%. Those are important. Then at the top of this information we can add the volumes as well as more informations that we can get. We can gather as many as possible information to understand, to support our idea, our pattern. So if even the volumes are supporting our pattern, so we are more confident that the trend might reverse. So the volume has to be, this one has to be higher than the volume at the peak C. So the volume at the peak A has to be higher than the volume at the peak C. And then again, high volume has to happen at the breakout point. Penetration 3%, it's fine, 1 to 3% has to happen. And if all those conditions are happen together, we are confident or more confident that the reversal pattern might happen, always might happen, because technical analysis is mainly based on percentages and probabilities. So it's always, there is always a probability, so it's not always sure, it's not 100% sure. So again, technical analysis can fail, it's not infallible it can fail. So again, we can find the target price. Target price is just the projection of this distance h at the breakout point as per head and shoulders. So if you want more, if you want to get more information regarding this pattern, those volumes, etc., please have a look to the previous lessons on the head and shoulders reversal pattern. Again, guys, those are not mandatory, but important information. You just take a screenshot. This is all what I just told you. Describes the movement of the double top, the reversal pattern, how it has to move. And those are the main points that will help us to understand if it is a reversal pattern or not. Again, with the same problem on the volume has to be respected if it's possible, but if it's not big deal. But as long as we know that we need to be careful in our analysis, and we need to be aware that perhaps it might not be a reversal pattern or it's going to be a reversal pattern. So we have always be with our doubts. We cannot be sure with the technical analysis. Okay, this is important. This is an example. Perhaps, as I was telling you, this is always a reverse top, a double top, but the volume, you see, the volume B is higher than the volume A, so it's not respecting the volume, but it happened. And then again, the volume at the breakout points, it happened as well. So this one, this volume was respected, but those one was not respected, and at the end it was a reversal pattern. So that's why technical analysis, those are some informations that will help us to find, to check, to locate those reversal patterns, but there will be variation, for sure there will be variation. This is just theory, and it's just the main principle to locate a reversal pattern, and then there will be variation. Okay, let's move on to the bottom. The bottom is totally the same, guys. Just memorize into focalization, memorize this reversal pattern, because this one, the bottom, this is at the bottom reversal pattern, this is exactly the same at the top reversal pattern. Let's move on. Again, this is same concept. This is the theory behind the reversal, the double bottom reversal. This is the volume movements. Again, just go through it, read it. Already explained to you guys before in the previous lessons, but the main point is that we have the breakout point has to happen on higher volume, very high volume, because we know, as we know from the previous lessons, the volume at the bottom are much more important than the top. Again, there will be some variation, as I was telling you. The variation can be that perhaps the point C is higher than the peak A, so it means that the trend for us, it can just say, okay, the trend is not reverting, it's not a reversal pattern. The trend will keep going up because the peak C is higher than the point A. But sometimes this one can reverse. In fact, it's called fails breakout or bull trap. So this one can happen. So this is the reason why we need to wait. If something like that is happening, just wait a little bit. Wait if this retracement is gonna break the trend line, if it's gonna break this dotted horizontal line, and then if there will be a penetration of 1 to 3%. If all those stuff are happening together, perhaps most likely it's gonna be a reversal pattern rather than a continuation of the trend. Again, volumes has to be always the same and has to be respected. The same concept applies for the bottom, totally the same. Okay, we can just take confidence with this sketch, please. And then another exceptions can happen in this situation where the point C is at the same level the point A, but it's not a reversal pattern, but it's just a pullback. So the price will jump up again, and the trend line works as support. So the trend line worked perfectly, has not been broken. So it means that the price will keep going up, will go up. Again, guys, this can happen at the bottom as well. How can we recognize all those exceptions? How can we say if it's gonna be if it's gonna be a reversal pattern or not? As I told you before, guys, perhaps take this example only. We need to wait, perhaps that this new rally has broken the trend line has broken this dotted red line and has penetration of 3%, it's good signals, are good filters. They're called filters that can tell us that the market might revert, might change direction. Or perhaps we can check the timing between those two peaks. Generally, for a short-term investment, has to be a couple of months. For a long-term investment, for perhaps on a chart, weekly or monthly charts, those peaks the distance between those peaks can be even several years. So those are filters that can help us to understand if those one are the filters that can help us to understand if it's a fake reversal pattern or is a true reversal pattern. It's exactly what I told you in words. So if you want to learn it more, just take a screenshot, read it properly, and learn it. Then the other two remaining reversal pattern are not very often. Sometimes we saw some spikes, but those are not really often, and they are not really helpful for us because they don't give any signal. We are not able to find any price objective. But it's good to know that they exist, and it's good to recognize those patterns. And perhaps, if it's possible, stand aside, or perhaps if we are lucky, we already left the market or get in the market in the right direction, especially when there is a spike, because a spike does not give any signal. It's better to explain you with an example. So if we keep going ahead, this is a saucer or rounding pattern that it can last several years, and is generally located on weekly or monthly charts. So this one, we don't know when it's gonna end, we don't know the price targets, we don't have a lot of information. We just know that it exists. We need to recognize it, and then we can decide if stand aside or just try to invest and try to go up. But I would suggest to stand aside because we don't know the timing, we don't know when it will revert. Again, this is a spike or V pattern. It means that you see suddenly the market jumped down. This one can last 1 day, 1 week, and it happens on high volume. Those are the only information that we know. So those are the other remaining two reversal patterns. They are not as important as the previous one, and it is just important that we know that they exist, and we cannot even use they're not really useful for technical analysis in a way that we are not able to find the right time to get in or get out from the market. So that's all from my side. Thanks, and I'll see you to the next lesson. Bye bye.